Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, we did it. We survived.
Yeah.
The Epic Games week.
The first quiet weekend I've had in a while.
Yeah, it is. I was going to go to the gym this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get those squat racks put together. And then, we'll do the podcast. And then I woke up and I was like, I don't know if I am going to leave the house today because I booked a movie. I'm like, and I got to get my steps. So Movie helps with the steps. And then I got to go to the gym to check on the electronics. So that's also bonus steps. But I was like, you know what? No, I just need to just not do stuff like that today. So, but I will be tomorrow putting together those squat racks. I'm excited about that. But yeah, we did it. We lived. Let's do a little rewind here because a lot happened that week. Not only, we're talking the 26th and the 27th of July through August 3rd. That was kind of the big thing. And it's funny how many events we crammed into one weekend to weekend. Yeah. That weekend of the 26th and 27th, we had the CrossFit Level 1 at the gym. And Mike and Bill both did the Level 1. And I haven't heard any word on how the testing went, but I would assume they're good to go.
Yeah.
I would like to get Mike.
Maybe like a while for us to get our results back. And I mean, we took it live. So they had like a window of like, you can take it online. I'm sure they're still processing.
Yeah, it's so weird to me to hear that the testing is done online now because every time I ever did it was in paper on person.
And that was like most of the second day, I feel. It was like a quick recap to start off that first day and then take the test.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that means they're just putting in more coaching and content and stuff and not wasting like, the hour or 2 hours it would be for a proctored exam. And then, then you don't have to worry about the things that a proctor would have to, like, is anyone cheating? What's going on over there? You could just teach and send them on their way, and then it's up to them. It's not like it's still easy. Like even those take-home tests are really hard. Like any of the online courses that I've taken, it's like, boy, these are hard questions. Then again, AI exists now, so I don't know what people are doing with that. So
I think Mike was saying that you have to like log into something, so you can't like change your window. Like, of course, you could probably like use your phone, whatever, but
yeah, oh, that's cool. Technology.
Yeah.
So congrats to them. Awesome that 2 more people have gone through that experience. It's something that if you're really passionate about CrossFit, you should do. Just do it. You don't have to take any further than that. Do the Level 1 and just to get even more immersed and learn the methodology. And both of them have been doing CrossFit for so long. Bill, I think, has got to be on 10 years if he's not already. And Mike about 7 to 8 years. So
yeah,
that was a good time to do it and just kind of check that off the old bucket list. Right. And, Bill was able to check off the CrossFit Games off of his bucket list. I don't know if Mike went. Do you know?
Yeah. Remember, Mike got the tickets from his work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think he was there all 3 days.
How cool is that? Like to one weekend do a CrossFit Level 1, learn all about the methodology. You've been doing it for 7+ years. And then the next weekend, be there at the CrossFit Games, seeing that sport aspect in person. What a unique experience.
Yeah.
That not many people, I think, get. I don't know if they probably do Level 1s when they go all around, but for our area, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
For sure.
Well, we'll take a break from this CrossFit talk. The ADK Series I. We killed it. The team did such a good job. So many dinosaurs were earned. We had big PRs from Rebecca, snatching 40. Unofficially for the competition, clean and jerking 60. But hey, 40, 60, that's awesome. That's great progress. From the beginning of the year to start in January and to go from not being able to lift too much to all of a sudden we're clean and jerking 60 in a competition. Blue plates are on. That's pretty darn cool. I'm very happy with Rebecca's progress. And I know you've gotten to coach her quite a bit. have you seen things kind of change in just the general demeanor and approach to
Yeah,
lifting
for
and
sure.
the technique?
Yeah, and it is odd having like newer people, because you do get used to everyone at least having a base. Like even when I started just coaching classes, like going from barbell club to classes and being like, oh, okay, everyone's technique with weightlifting is a little bit different. But to go from like, I mean, you guys did on ramp with her, but her first class was literally the Fran that I taught on
Yeah.
January 1st. So yeah, like from there to now is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be cool to see her do Fran again,
Yeah,
and what improvements we could make there, and just having that experience, because she's definitely been in more intense metcons as well, and they all still hit, but
right.
to be able to go back and do it, that'll be an awesome test for her to come back in January 1st coming up, and to kind
Yeah,
of redo it, like, oh, I'm using a little more weight, I'm doing this instead of ring rows, or my time got faster and I was able to push. It's just really cool to be able to see kind of the time course of everything, even in the on ramp, just seeing when she was
right.
learning how to snatch and clean jerk for the first time, because I did that session with her, and to where we are now, it's like it's night and day. You just
Yeah,
have to be patient with it. You have to be patient with it, and as a coach, you have to, and athlete, you have to be like, what, in a couple months we'll be in a different place, from wherever we are right now. Do you do you ever think about that? Like when maybe you're going through a rough patch, you're like, hey, in a month from now, even a week from now, I might be a whole different athlete, a whole different Miguel.
right. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes constantly with just testing things out, and just the weeks that you have, like you kind of just have to do the goldfish type of memory where you're like, okay, that's fine. If
Yeah.
this week is this week, then whatever. We'll see. Things go in their little flows. So eventually we'll be on top again.
Yeah, it's like your morning commute to work. One day you make all the lights. The next day you hit all the lights.
Yeah.
That's just life and timing, and every day is completely different. The day after that, you hit the first light, then it's smooth sailing, or you're running late that morning, and that morning is always going to be the one where you notice you hit all the lights. So maybe you don't even notice sometimes when things aren't kind of going your way, but you're in a different state of mind, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm moving on, I'm having fun. But then other times you're like, I cannot believe how long it's taking that guy in front of me to hit his gas pedal, which really it's not long
Hmm.
at all. You're just having an internal crisis, and everything
Right.
bothers you. That's the day the elevator isn't coming fast enough so you can get down to your car. That's, it's funny how similar life is to all the things that we're doing in the gym. And if you train yourself to react one way in the gym, that'll trickle out. And then life is just easier now. You're just
Yeah.
not bothered by anything. It's the fun part about training. Um, Haley did not post a total. So along the lines of those subject, that's something that could really negatively affect a lot of athletes. But Haley's been in this game long enough where it's like, well, it wasn't my day today. We still fought. We tried to bump those
Yeah.
weights up every single, because we weren't just going to die on one weight. And it was a different situation every single lift. Like the opener, 70 kilos flew. So Haley missed it on the snatch, but she was like, that felt really light. All right, let's bump it up. Maybe you just need a little more weight, and we'll get it, of course, on the next one. And that didn't happen. But Haley's experienced enough to know, like, all right, I really wasn't getting good sleep leading up to this, the day of. But then when we got going, I thought I could still do it. Like, as an athlete, you have to make those decisions. Like, do I still think I can do it and try? And then if it doesn't happen, all right, I'll deal with that. Or if just based on the way I'm feeling, maybe we change the game plan.
Yeah.
It's how do you know when is the right scenario? It's not like she was missing all of her lifts in the warm-up room. What do you think about that, on just making that decision?
Yeah, it's interesting because I do feel that me and Haley were honestly in similar situations leading up to this. Um, because I also knew like the way that my schedule was going to look coming up on those couple weeks to the ADK series was going to be a lot. Like I had weddings and just something every weekend and things to do during the week that I knew I probably wasn't going to get good sleep, wasn't going to be eating that well, was going to feel fatigued. But yeah, I mean, it's a path and it's different for each person. And I was still like, up until the moment where I was like, I'm definitely not doing it. There was a lot of time leading up where I was like, I don't know. I'm still back and forth up until probably 2 weeks before where I made that decision. But you never know, because then she could also say, I'm not going to do this meet because I might not be in the best whatever. But
yeah,
you never know that until the day of, the moment of, like that could have been, a great meet. You never know. And it's also good to kind of test that, to know like, all right, what can I handle? Or like, what would we need to adjust in this situation? Or, so either way, yeah, this one happened to be the tough one where you don't end up posting a total, but I don't know, in another scenario, just another time frame, maybe it works out better. But yeah, it was interesting to view that, because I was probably feeling the same way leading up, but I had decided like early on to kind of bide my time to potentially have that out. But yeah, I mean, that's just how the cards kind of were laid out this time.
yeah, and it just shows Haley's maturity in the sport, because like you said, I bet there's a fair number of people who that morning on like such poor sleep, like I don't remember specific what it was, but like when she told me, I'm like, that's not a lot, like,
Yeah.
and this had been going on for a couple days. Could have just easily have texted me, hey, sorry, I really, I'm not feeling today. Just withdraw me, whatever. And then there's the next level after that. Like if you do withdraw, do you still show up for the team or do you just stay home? That's a whole nother thing. Or coming and being like, let's bump down my opener to 65 and just play it safe. Or, you know what, I'm going to stay the course. Like you said, let's see what happens. That all requires immense maturity. And then to also be able to handle the final result when it's not the one that you would want. Like even just posting a total, just like hitting any of those snatches and then having a total. And in this situation, outside of the road to regionals, they're not posting a total doesn't hurt really too much.
Right.
It's like, okay, we tried, it didn't happen, but that happens to all athletes who are trying to perform at a high level. You show up to the Super Bowl, 3 interceptions in a row. Boy, this is not what I had envisioned when I went to bed last night, but you better deal with it. And then maybe you can dig yourself out of that hole. There's always a way to dig yourself out of the hole, even after the fact, like maybe not in weightlifting unless you make the lifts, but in a football game, there's another quarter. All right, throw 4 touchdowns. That other team might be slipping. So that's just that's a cool thing about sports. And once you understand how to participate in sports, you can do all these things. And for a beginner, that's really, really hard, because they also have to learn how to participate in sports. And Haley's background obviously helps with that too. I might have cut out for a second. I don't know.
All good.
Okay. Chris, all PRs for Chris. He did a great job. Snatched 80, 102 clean and jerk, which has been the goal for a while, or that was like a lifetime goal. Big improvement on the total. We're 18 kilos away from a 200 total. So that's pretty darn good. Congrats to Chris. Schaff, big performance for Schaff. Boy, 111 on the snatch. We miss 140 on the first attempt for the clean jerk, and then came back and hit it. We've been searching for these types of performances for Schaff for a while. Okay, like I think this is the first time I've ever seen him deadlift a bar on a heavy maximal clean and jerk. and then go under it and make the whole thing to close out the competition. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any in the top of your head? Do you remember this happening?
No, not really. Not without like, I mean, there have been times in training where it's like maybe go down and then come back up.
Yeah.
Perhaps, but yeah, definitely not in competition.
Yeah. That was huge, because normally that deadlift is kind of the harbinger of, all right, like that may be what's happening today. And then the next lift would be like, we start to go under, but it doesn't fully turn over. But on this, boy, he figured it out real quick, revamped, came out there, aggressive pull, stuck with the clean. And I mean, we'd have to ask him, but I think allowed it to happen. Like, you have to allow the bar to come into you and land on you and stuff. And mental blocks can stop that. You know, there's a little emergency brake button in the back of your head that's like, don't do it, Miguel. You know, and you're like, who hit that? And you're like, oh, I hit that. So that was fantastic. He won the gold medal by Sinclair, overall for all the men. 3 kilo PR on the clean jerk, 1 kilo PR on the snatch, and then what is it here? An 11 kilo total PR. So that's a huge bump to the total. We're up at 251, breaking into the 250s now. And it's always like, I always wonder if people wonder about the math, but it's just because most of the time in competitions, he hits a big snatch and the clean and jerk doesn't match up.
Right.
And now we might have a 132 clean and jerk or something, but now we had a 140, which gets us all those extra, kilos. So that was huge. That was awesome. What'd you think of seeing that?
Yeah, that was great. He's had great training leading up, so it really just makes sense that was the day that, everything should have came together.
Yeah. And a great way to start the momentum for states on being like, look, you can do it. You can repeat that for sure. So that was awesome by Schaaf. Alex, big PRs for Alex, 108 snatch, 2 kilo PR, 145 clean jerk, 3 kilo PR, 253 kilo total, staying 2 kilos ahead of Schaaf. Nice little rivalry there. And then we didn't hit the 150, but this was the first time that I would say a true commitment to go under 150 was made. And, it was a little bit of an awkward catch. I think had he been able to hold his balance and stay in place, it could have been different. It's once we get past a certain kilo range, jumping forward with the weights just isn't going to work. That's 330 pounds. Yeah. That's a lot. Even when you weigh a lot, and you're a bigger person. So I think everyone is getting closer to where they need to be.
Yeah, agreed.
Did once we were in it, did you have any kind of like FOMO on like, man, maybe I should have lifted, once we were going or anything like that?
To a degree. Yes, in the way of when you're there, you're just like, oh, wouldn't it be so easy for me to just hop in now? But that's not what a meet is. Like, you do have to prepare. You do have to make sure your weight is where you want it. That that you wake up at a certain time, that you go to sleep at a certain time, that the week leading up feels a certain way. And although I was there on the day, the week leading up wouldn't have helped my performance in the meet. So I do think it was definitely the right decision. But yeah, you definitely get FOMO when everybody else is lifting and you're like, I feel like I could post a decent total today.
Yeah. Especially like maybe if it was like bigger sessions and you see a bunch of guys in your class and you're like, man, I could be out there right now,
Yeah.
But it's still good that you showed up to help the team, help load, make sure everyone is where they need to be. We did have some cool, funny things that happened in the warm-up room with Alex on losing the front rack on one of his cleans, and then essentially doing it popped up. He lost his front rack, went down Frankenstein squat style, stood up, regripped, and then hit the jerk, right?
No, not even. it was supposed to just be a pop up. So like, yeah, losing one arm, pop up, but it's a heavy weight and he popped it up really high. So then catching it, the catch wasn't fully there at the top. So then he had to then sit it all the way down and then come back up.
Yeah.
It was very bad to watch.
I wish we had a video of it.
Like as he was standing up, I was like I said it in the moment too. I was going to say like, all right, drop it. But then I went, oh, you don't have to say that. Clearly he's going to drop it. That is,
He did not.
because there are like times where it's off and you're like, you can maybe recover from that. But again, with Alex, like his weights are so heavy that I don't think, especially the way that he did it, he popped it up so high that I was like, I don't think you can just catch that. So he had to go full squat again. But yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it was quite the sight to be seen. I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, not on our team, and I don't typically know what's going on around us with the other people. I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen before. And like you said, most people I think would have dropped it after the first
100%,
like little miss part. But hey, he stuck with it. He got it. I think Alex has within him a good quality of an athlete of a stubbornness in certain situations that I think will help him a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that was like that little bit of stubbornness in action. Like we all got to see it. We're like, oh no, he's not going to put it down. He's like, I did all this work to get it up here. It's going to stay up here. And it's like, I think that's a good quality to have, as long as it doesn't get you in too hairy of situations where you could hurt yourself. So that was awesome. But it was great to see all of our friends at Avita's weightlifting and other local lifters that we haven't seen for a little bit, and just go out there and test out the last training cycle and have a mini idea of things for states, and for some it could even be, oh, all right, we just practice them here. It's only going to be a kilo or so off, or I do think states is going to be a little more competitive this year. Just looking at who's in the weight classes and stuff.
Yeah.
We may be making decisions on like, well, what gets us on the podium? Like I know most of the meets, we're kind of playing our game, right? We're like, okay, we see where we're going to fall. Well, of course, we do keep an eye on the competition and we push things that way. Or it's just easy to get on the podium and we don't really have to think that way.
Yeah.
I do think it's good for us as a team to start to be like, what do I need to do to win? And also place, and then have that be the deciding factor of our numbers. Like let's say if we look at your weight category and we see all the guys are opening up with 90 kilo, or let's say they're all opening up with 70 kilo snatches. Well, okay, do we have to open up at this high number, or like do we just do what we have to do to secure the win and then we play?
Right.
That's just like an example of it. And it's okay that we're not going to go for PRs on purpose. Like we're here for that. That's another meet. Like we're here for other, unless it lines up. I do think we're kind of getting to that point, or we've been to / should be at that point. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I was also thinking that in terms of just like mindset going into things. I think with some of us, with the years of doing this, we kind of know where we fall, and that can be kind of a detriment. Because if we know that we're going in, we're guaranteed second, or we know that we're going in and we're with everyone else, the totals that they post, maybe we're fifth, and we go in and just go, okay, I just want to hit my lifts. Maybe if I PR, that's great, and I'll take that fifth place or that second place or whatever. But yeah, you're right, where it's like, maybe we should start playing a game or a total game where we know, okay, it's hard for me to hit this number on the snatch and also have enough in the tank for clean and jerk. If I don't need to hit this in the snatch, that means I can then max out my clean and jerk to a way higher number and maybe get me a higher total instead of like, yes, of course, if you PR both, that is the highest total. But if you can save a couple kilos in the snatch to then get 5 to 10 more in the clean and jerk, that might be your best bet for the day. And just playing with what's out there and be willing. We love the like, all right, let's hit 2 attempts and then now what do I need? But if we're playing that the entire game, the game the entire time, then it might be easier to play off on the clean and jerks.
Yeah, and then it might be like, okay, let's say you just snatched 97 on your second attempt. We went 94, 97. You clearly have like a 10 kilo lead or 8 kilo lead on the rest of the field. We look at, or I'm looking at the clean and jerk, openers and stuff like that, and be like, hey, Miguel, we're going to scratch attempt 3. Like, okay, this is another opportunity to take a stab at 100. It's like probably the clear next number. Maybe you want to, that'd be a PR, but also we have to think in terms of like you just said, well, all right, if I go out there and put all this effort into it and don't get it, was it worth it at the detriment of the clean and jerk? Maybe it's better you just get more time off. You did your job for this meet. If this was the ADK Series I, we're going for 100. Yeah. But like this is nationals or states, a bigger meet that we're trying to do stuff at. It might be like, you know what? Take we're just doing 2 attempts. We're going to scratch the third one. Make sure you're really ready for the clean jerks, and then we're going to tee off on the clean jerks after we post the total. I think that sounds good, right? Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if we're even in that situation, but I think it makes sense. And then, also it's risky because like let's say you already clinched it for the snatch, and now we're going to go out for like more of an unknown. But then what if after that you're like, oh crap, like I lost exactly. Yep. And then now in the clean jerk, it's like, oh, they're off, and now the whole thing's in jeopardy because we went for something that like we could just do that Monday. Like let's max out again on Monday, and we're gonna get it. It's not that we're not gonna get it. We just don't need it now. I think it's okay to say, we don't need that PR now. Like it's a given. That one's gonna happen very soon. We can wait on it. Or even in the other sense of like starting the game early, right? Like we know that someone that we're all about the same in the snatches. Mm-hmm. Do we take those same 1 and 2 attempts that we always do that everyone else is also going to take? Or do we hit one of those attempts in the warm-ups and then go for something heavier to get that advantage early on? Yeah. Because I mean, like when you're waiting for clean and jerk attempt 2 and 3 to now play the total game, it might be too late. And again, that thing of, do we need all 3 snatch attempts, or do we just need 2 good heavy ones? Yeah. Like you're opening up at 94 and other guys opened up at 92. Then they all jump to 95 and you're like, you know what? I'll just jump to 97, and some of them will make, some of them won't, and it'll balance itself out. Yeah, exactly. I think we need to start playing that game, and I think the competition will be tight enough that we kind of need to at states, and we should, instead of being like, all right, 90, 93, 96, that was our game plan. Like it's like, Miguel, you're going for 99, and you're like, I've never tried 99 before. It's like, well, but we need it to win right now, so go. Right. What better time than now than to give 130 on the clean jerk stat, and it also, I think that's when, as an athlete, you're put in a situation where you have the ability to rise to the occasion. Like let's say you've done 120 a million times in training and other meets and whatnot, but then we open up at 118, and then now the rest of it's kind of unknown, and we jump to 125, and then all right, that was like you've never done that before, and then it's 130, you hit this 130, it's a gold medal, the competition's really tight. Like allow you to have that swell and build
Yep.
up and momentum, and then it just comes down to yes or no, you know, things to think about, things that
Yeah.
we'll work on. Any other thoughts on the ADK series? Me?
No, I mean, it was a good day. It was a fun day. Yeah, it's just now we're going into
Yep.
states. People have taken their time off, including obviously the CrossFit Games week, and then this past week as well, as people kind of recover and all that. And then yeah, we're right back.
Yep. Right back to it. Well, let's dive into this CrossFit Games week. Just what are your overall thoughts on just the whole thing? I know you had to be in and out because you had another event, going on that same weekend, but I think you were able to experience enough of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it started before as athletes kind of came into town and sharing the room with drop-ins and all of that as well. Because I didn't do the meet, I was still training Monday and Wednesday. So I was able to share the room with some athletes and meet them before as well. I think starting that Friday, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really fun. It was cool to see people that you see on TV. It was cool to watch them on the stream later after meeting them. But yeah, it was pretty, I don't know. I kind of look at it differently. I don't know if I play it quote unquote too cool around certain people, but I was saying this to a friend. When these athletes come to town, like they're in the gym to work hard and to do their job. I also go to the gym and work hard and do my job. Like my goal has nothing to do with them, but like, yeah, I am training for states. So I still need the room and I'm still going to train hard. And I think it's like a mutual respect thing where it's like, we're doing the same thing to different degrees, which I think is like overall what CrossFit is, right? Where everyone's essentially doing the same thing. You might be doing it at that elite level. I'm focusing on my weightlifting and I'm doing it at my level, but we're both here for a purpose. And that purpose is to like work hard, do well, improve. So yeah, it was pretty casual, honestly, sharing the room with some of the athletes and like quickly chatting with them. Honestly, there were some conversations where I was like, I kind of got to get going. So like,
they're a little too friendly. You're like, I
we were like, I thought this was going to be quick, and I know that we both have stuff to do. So yeah, let's go do it. But yeah, it was a great week. I'm glad that our gym was like so on top of things, and in terms of like getting the guest coaches and having so much space and putting on all the events that we did. I think people really enjoyed it, members and drop-ins alike. And yeah, it was a great time overall.
Yeah. It's like I told you guys at the beginning of the year when they announced it. I'm like, expect anyone and everyone that you never thought would to be popping into this gym. And the way I look at it is like they're just people just like us. Even if you see them on TV, there's very few people that like would like get me to act a different way, and I don't even know how differently I would act. Like there's like it's like a small handful of people. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, if he walked into the gym, like I would have to do like, can I get a photo with you? Can you sign my face or whatever it is? Just because of just like I feel like you've been around my entire life, and through every just movies and pop culture, and then getting into fitness is like, oh, it's the guy again. He's he's not just the action star. He's this, and just all the things that you learn, and even through college they would talk about you, and of course following you. So it's like that would be like a huge one for me to not like lose my mind over. But like other than that, and even then, it's like, all right, he's got to get his coffee. Like he just drove here. Give him a minute. Let him answer his text messages. He's just trying to get a workout. Like that I could never be one of those people mid workout, someone's going and be like, hey, can I just interrupt you for a second? That would be, I'll just enjoy you from afar and then move on. But it was cool to see all these people. And I would say with the games athletes, in that build up to the games and like meeting a lot of them and seeing them training and stuff like that, and then starting to watch the competition, I recognize a lot more of them now. Like I know who they are, because before I just felt completely in the dark of the sport.
Yeah.
There's like, all right, 30 names. I have to know about all of them. And Tia's up here. And so I know the like top 3 or 4. And if they're not tangling with Tia or in her orbit, I kind of don't know. I don't even know where to find you, you know, which part of this was me messaging all of them and inviting them to the gym. And that I started to like look through their pages, and I started to get like encouraged, because I'm like, all right, I know your name, I know your face. You responded back to me. And then when you come to the gym, you're like, oh, hey, James, nice to finally meet you. And I'm like, so I feel like I have a better connection, you know?
Yeah.
And
it was funny thinking about, because we did that kind of prediction podcast, and you didn't know really any of them. I will say I did a couple call outs to like people to look at, and I think I did a good job, I think.
Ooh, all right. Who in particular?
I definitely said Lydia Fish, who had her family and supporters were wearing the fish heads.
I love the fish head
during the games. But yeah, just like, because I know like Training Think Tank, and she made it on that Last Chance qualifier, and they did a great video showing that weekend and kind of her way of qualifying that way. So I was also telling people at the gym to like check out different things to like get to know these athletes better, because I know names and faces for sure, but a lot of the backgrounds I was like forgetting, or I knew them years ago when they lived in a completely different place. Their lives were completely different. So yeah, when I did my lead up, I kind of watched a lot of those road to the games and different people's channels and saw what they were doing. Maybe that's part of my casualness as well, is that I feel like I've seen them on things enough that I
know your whole story already.
Like, oh, I know how you train. I know that you two usually train together, because the first athletes that I saw, I believe, were Amy Kringle and Harry Lightfoot.
Yep. That sounds...
and I was like, oh yeah. I know that you guys have different coaches, but when competitions come in, you guys like train together and all this stuff. And so a little bit more casual for me, but definitely, again, just great to see the work that people are putting in, the care, the response to, like, we talked about athletes getting flights delayed or canceled, and their luggage didn't show up all at one time. So we had athletes in there squatting with no shoes because, their lifters are in a different bag, and they just had their runners. Yeah, and they get it done because that's your only option. So it was cool to see as an athlete as well. And I think that fired a lot of people up in the gym to kind of like, oh, this is cool. We should also work,
Yeah, it's okay if you don't have your knee sleeves today. Like the work still has to get done. It doesn't say that on the board. It just says back squats. And so many of them were really down to earth and cool, like Jonas Koski. He was really cool. And he told us a couple jokes. He's like, all right, don't let anyone else know that you have yokes here. Like, because they're in the shed. And he asked, do you have yokes or anything? I'm like, yeah, we have all this strawman equipment. He's like, you can't tell anyone else you have that. Yeah. That's mine. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody, but then people found out because, of course, he posted a video of himself with the yokes. But it's just funny, like they're normal people, and I really enjoyed going through all their profiles too, and seeing, like, obviously my faith is really a big part and important in my life. And I was reading all their bios, and I'm like, you guys all love Jesus too? Like, I didn't know that. Like or like they're just so outward expressive of it, and I'm like, oh, you guys are cool. All right, I want to watch you work out now. Like,
Yeah.
because again, I was just so closed off to it, don't know where to find most of you guys, and now I'm like, oh, like you guys could just be a member here and be cool, you know. So I thought that was awesome. And what did you think about for the games athletes? The week of the games, I was surprised like how much training they were still doing, and like this, like still the intensity, like they were like go. I'm like when's you guys' day off? And like the competition's on Friday, and they're there
Right.
on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are still going. Like I would need more time to recover. Like, did that surprise you at all?
To a degree, I kind of did think that that people were taking days off, because some of them, when they would first get there, they'd get in a little bit later. So maybe they'd be in the gym while we were there. And then I'd be like, oh, they aren't here today. They probably took today off. And then realizing, oh, they just came in way earlier. But they're kind of two prongs to it, where it's either, because it's CrossFit, like you kind of have to keep that intensity level. I know a lot of times for like when the open comes around, if the workout's 6 minutes, you got to get your heart rate up. So maybe you're not using WOD weight, but you have to get your intensity up to a certain level to be ready for the next thing. Or even like we had to bring down those 100-pound dumbbells, because that's a huge implement in one of the workouts. So you need to test that out. You have to try, all right, what if the dumbbell are the fully metal ones? What if they are the more cushiony ones? How do I play with my grip? How does it change? All right, today I'm just going to test it out. I'm going to have it more sitting on my back as I, go shoulder overhead, or I'm going to do more, whatever vertical kind of hold with it. So yeah, you kind of have to test out everything in a kind of game scenario. So that's both the intensity and weights at some points. So yeah,
I saw so many athletes like doing the events, and I was like, yeah, like wow, like that's so your baseline, and then like some of them be talking about like, yeah, I'm gonna do it again later. It's like that event that like I wouldn't be walking for the rest of the week. You're gonna do that again, like because like my mindset would be like, all right, I have to make sure I'm not sore for Saturday, But like these guys, like they're in the zone. It's like what like it's like when I was lifting heavy every day. You just don't. You're numb. You just don't feel the soreness anymore. It's like it's just what you do. So they're clearly in that zone. Versus like like all right, if I do this workout on Wednesday, my legs might not be recovered by Friday. So it's just it is cool to see the next level and that kind of like zone in person for so many people. That's also the really impressive thing about it. Like 60 people plus the teams, they're all just like high caliber, finely tuned machines. And you don't get that from just watching it. You got to see it like happen in the gym.
Because you do question, right? Where you go, wow, they're doing 3 or 4 events a day, and then they have to go in the next day and do 3 or 4. But yeah, so that's how you need to train. You can't go to the CrossFit Games and get crushed because you're like, this is my 3rd intense workout of the day. And they're sitting in those corrals, and everything's not going to be perfect. But I guess what we didn't also see was the once they left the gym moments. A lot of these people travel with teams, or people in their lives hold multiple roles. Like your dad might be your coach and also take care of everything. Like your manager might be your husband. He might make sure that he grabs everything for you, and also, okay, let's get you in your leg sleeves. Let's get you this. Let me cook, and let me make sure your meals are here and there. And yeah, everything is just so dialed in. And I think that's another piece of like, as an athlete looking at that and going, yeah, at a certain point, you do have to be smart about it and make the right choices and have things kind of taken care of.
have your support system. I did like seeing, someone would share something about them being at the gym, and then I would click through the rest of their stories, and you see, oh, you went to Whole Foods right after the gym, and you just see their shopping cart of like all the stuff, that they're getting ready. I think one person showed their rice cakes or something that this was going to be their snack for at the arena. So like they're like getting their food for the arena. And so, yeah, it's like they're putting in that level of effort. It's like gym, grocery store, hotel, soak in the tub. Your father books your Uber to the arena the next day. Make sure that's all set if you don't have a rental car. And then, all right, he's got to mobilize your shoulder now. Like so many of them just have that all going on. And us, we don't need to have that going on. We just need to like plan an extra step or two ahead to find success. It's like you can still emulate that. Go to the gym, go to the grocery store, get the food, eat the food, go to bed on time. It is really, really like simple if you allow it to be. They're just doing it on such a big expanded, way because they need to. So it's just really cool to be exposed to that environment, I guess, because it is something that we normally don't see, or we see it on a really micro level in the gym. Just to see so many people doing the same thing, it almost validates like, oh, what I've been telling people to do is right. Like they're all doing they're all doing it, like. So it was nice to kind of see that and be like, yes, eat food. Look at that. They're eating food. I'm not crazy for telling people to do that or these other things. But sometimes when you're like isolated in like your own little like lane and you don't get outside of your gym, outside of the internet, you kind of start to question yourself. You're like, all right, why? Maybe I got this wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can relate to that.
For sure. And I mean, I feel like I talk a big talk in terms of like, I am at times on purpose overly confident in myself and like abilities. And so the like comparisons as well of like, yeah, cool. I already have this idea that, everyone's sharing their highlights. But then seeing them in form and, we had other drop-ins who were at different levels of fitness as well. Like there were some who do grid league as well. And we'd be using the same room as them. And I'd like point out to other people and I'd be like, see, like everyone misses lifts. Everyone misloads. Everyone does this and that. Everyone's just working, but it's different levels. And yeah, it's super interesting to see just how everyone is doing CrossFit at different levels and different levels of preparation. We were testing out Shatter Slam workouts while people were at the gym, and it did really feel like, oh, we're all doing the same thing. You guys are preparing for your competition. We're preparing for ours. Classes are going on while everyone's doing different things. And yeah, I hope it had a positive effect on everyone in terms of like, it's easy to go, wow, that's a heavier weight than I'll use, and kind of like make it a separate thing. But yeah, everyone was literally doing the same exact thing.
Yeah. And it was cool to not only the support staff and coaches for the games athletes when they were coming in, like during the down times of the day and stuff like that. But then also the guest coaches to kind of like interact with them and see what they're doing. That like, again, like along the same lines, it kind of like motivated me again, or reinforced that like what I'm asking isn't an arm and a leg. It's like I'm asking like the standard, and that it feels like it emboldens me to do it even more, or to like ramp it up a little bit, but to be like, okay, because again, like, all right, it's just me at Albany CrossFit. They're fighting me all the time. They don't want to do this, do that. And then am I fighting a losing battle? But then like to see that and be like, no, this is the standard. This is what we all do. This is, It's like that move the salt shaker back to the middle here. It's like, no, it's here. You don't get to move it here. I put it here. This is the standard. And it's like, you just need a reminder of that all the time, because like, you know, when you're in the weeds with everybody, like it all just beats you down, you know, for lack of a better term. And now it's just like, no, you know what? Like what we're doing is right. And I'm just going to hold the line even more, or try to improve the line, you know? So that was cool to see the coaches too. It's like, I'm not asking anything crazy. I'm just asking for better. But sometimes you feel when you keep asking for better and it's met with different responses, or someone wants to bring it down to just okay instead of better, it kind of like it makes you question like what you're doing, you know, like you're like, am I crazy? Am I being too overbearing? Am I asking for too much, this or that? You know, because you want everyone to have a good experience too. So that was one thing I noticed from like the coaching side of it. And it's like, okay, we have plenty of space. Look at what we crammed in here. Yet you guys are trying to dominate too much space for your own little self, you know, pull-up bars, this and that. And it's like, yeah, none of it matters. All that matters is that you get after it and work hard, you know, and that we do this safely. So did you take away anything like that from like the coaching aspect of it, of like, hey, yeah, what we talk about is correct, and I'm gonna really like dial it up a notch here?
Yeah, even today, I kind of set up the room a little bit differently for the warm-up, because I always tend to go, okay, we have this amount of people. I guess you can spread yourself across the whole room. But I was like, we don't need all that space. And then I have to travel across the whole room. I can have you all right here. And we've seen that because we've had 40 people plus elements of rowers, bikes, barbells, all in here at one time. So I can have all of you right here, have an eye on all of you, and you all have plenty of space still. So things like that. The space was a big one that I was like whispering in people's ears as they were taking classes. And I was like, you see how much space we have? You see how there's 40 people in there and it's completely fine? Good. Yeah. I want you guys to remember this always.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of space we have is enormous. And, you know, again, when like we typically have smaller classes and we have very territorial athletes about certain things. And now you're like seeing it and you're like, it just makes you look at the room a different way, you know. Like we used to have 30-person classes all the time at Albany CrossFit, but it's been a while since that's happened. So you just kind of get used to like, all right, we got 4 people in here, and like you're going to be over there, you'll be over there. Which I've been fighting that battle for a while now. I'm like, no, you're not going to go in the corners. Like why can't you all be right here? Type of a thing. Imagine there's 50 other people in the room. You know, I'm gonna get little cutout standees of people fill up space.
Yeah.
So it does make you see the room a different way. It also gives you ideas of like how you could like set things up. And we're always working on that. I'm like, well, what are you going to do if 30 people show up and you were only expecting 3? I hope you have a game plan on how you're going to organize all this stuff. It was good to see those 50-person, 40-person classes in action, you know. And for me, myself, I had to coach one, and I hadn't coached a class that big. I mean, I can't count Memorial Day Murph, kind of, you know, right. like that's an event. It is a class, but it's expected. Yeah. And I guess, and we didn't even have that many people for Thanksgiving the year before. So this was 40 people was the biggest class I've coached in a while. But like I was thinking all day, how do I organize all these bodies and how do I not make it chaotic, you know? And I knew we were going to have to partner up teams of 3, partner 1 here, 2 here, 3 there. And then we're going to have to get the bikes. And one thing I forgot off my lesson plan that I wanted to do, if you remember, I had part number 1 in the front, go get the bikes. Part number 2 was going to stay in place. So there's a placeholder for the lane. What I wanted to do was partner number 1 or 2 and 3 would trade off on 20-second planks while partner number 1 was getting it. So that way everyone's still doing stuff, you know, they're not just standing around. But by that point of the day, I completely forgot about that. I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, I got you here. Go get the bike. And then after the fact, I was like, oh crap, I was gonna have you guys do stuff, you know.
Mhm.
But it still worked out. And I couldn't let partner number 2 go their own way, because then all of a sudden, where do the bikes go? Because partner
Yeah.
1's not gonna remember where they were. So that was at least my one thing. We need to hold it together here, so we have the lanes, and then I'll just stagger them, and then we go, you know. So that was the group management was on my brain all day, because I knew we had close to 30 people of our people coming, and then I knew we were going to have the Wadify crew told me they were all going to come, so that was like another 7 people, and then they ended up not coming. And then I had no idea LSKD was going to bring like 10 plus people, so that was a surprise. I had no idea, or that one of them would be an adaptive athlete in a wheelchair. So I had no idea that was coming, and then had to think on the fly, okay, what can we do? And one of the best things you can do when you have an adaptive athlete is talk to them and say, hey, what do you normally do for your burpees? All right. Oh, we can make that happen. Like, just talk to them. They already have an idea, you know, especially if they've been doing it for a while. And I think that gentleman is a games competitor. I found out after the fact. I think he's like podium level games competitor. So I didn't know that. So yeah, that was a fun challenge to have. And really, the hardest part, outside of just making sure my lesson plan stayed intact, was just everybody stop talking and listen to me. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just the hardest part. But then I saw other coaches throughout the whole weekend being like, everybody shut up. And it's like, all right, it's not just me. It's harder because I'm below everyone's eye line to begin with, and I'm not wearing bright colored clothing.
Yeah.
So, but it was good to see those other coaches. I think Andrew Hiller was hoarse after the fact or something like that. Just I'm like, all right, good. It's not just me that.
It honestly took so much for me to not, I guess overstep isn't the word that I mean, but like not also be coach in those moments where I'm like, now it's just 2 people yelling. If I also tell everyone to quiet down. So like your class for sure. And then also the other classes that I took where I was like, everyone, but I was like, oh yeah, you're not coaching, so you can't let them, because then I'm like, now they're hearing my voice over here and another voice over here, so that doesn't help. So, but yeah, it was interesting to see that as well, where you're like, oh yeah, this is 40 people. This is how it's going to be.
And it never got to the point where I would go to my nuclear option, which is just to start counting down and start the clock. 3, 2, 1, like that. Because also, I like that's you can use that once, you know. So like the first time that I was like trying to get everyone to be quiet and like, let's do this, I was like, well, I can't use it now. We haven't even done the warm up yet. And then later on, I'm like, well, let me see if I don't need to use it. But had that gone on any longer, I would have done that. And that always gets them. Like all of a sudden, everyone's ears are like 3, 2, 1. Wait, I'm not ready. Oh, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm listening now. I do think at one point I had everybody kneel down. Did I do that at one point?
Yeah.
Or like go down to the floor? That way I'm above everybody. This is the only time I'm taller. And we had some tall dudes in that class and with women as well, which I'm also not used to. I'm normally used to being eye to eye with a lot of people in our gym these days. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did realize in the moment, I'm like, man, I wish I could whistle. Like that's like a tool I don't have. I can't whistle. I should learn somehow and teach myself, because I do feel like a loud whistle maybe could have helped.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a pitch thing for sure.
Yeah. Can you whistle?
It'll cut through anything. Meaning like whistles always get attention just because of like the frequency with which it can go through. So no matter what, because there's like the barbell club room is extremely hard to hear in. Even if music is low, I think just the way that the space is set up, it's hard to even have conversations. If you ever just like look around and hear people talking, half the time we're like, what? And then walking closer to each other.
I know I have to do this a lot.
But whistling for some reason just travels so well that no matter what like other frequencies of talking goes on, like it'll cut through no matter what.
Yeah. I did think about ringing the PR bell. God, hear ye, shut up. You know, can you whistle?
I can do not like the really loud ones. I have one that I use for my dog that's fairly loud. But yeah, I guess I haven't really needed to use it all that much.
Yeah. I don't know how this, I mean, I do remember in childhood, like trying it. I'm like, I don't know why I can't do this. Like it's not working. I don't, but that I have it on like a soft to-do list. I'm like, to at least like investigate this, like, because it would be a handy tool to have
for sure
in those situations. But so that was fun. LSKD. Then we had the next day the double unders workshop and the barbecue. So much barbecue, crazy amount of barbecue, but delicious. Dino BBQ did a great job, and the David Newman double under RX Smart Gear workshop was awesome. Learned a lot of really cool things for that, which we'll share with you in time, because Shaf and Josh were there and Shy, and Murph took it. So you and Pat are the only two that didn't get exposed to that. But just like interesting things on technique, and also even just how to stop the jump rope. Like there is a technique to stop the jump rope and then neatly put it down. And I'm like, I'm definitely stealing that, you know. So that was cool. And what a nice guy. You know, it's cool to meet the people behind the products that we use all the time, and then like discover that they're an awesome person. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm an RX Smart Gear guy for forever. Like, I don't know anything about RPM rope. I've never met that guy. Like, now it comes down to relationships. Like, I met the Lu Xiaozhong rep. So, all right, these shoes are great, and I know there's great people behind it. Yeah. So, you know, so that is another cool thing about this whole experience, is meeting those company people or founders or inventors and stuff. And what an interesting guy to invent so much jump rope technology. Right. The jump rope we had was different than the normal one. It was a long tube. If you could pop the top and take the sleeve off, and then adjust the height by just pushing it up into the next groove. And he invented that handle. And it's like, it's cool to meet inventors. Doesn't seem like that was like an old timey thing. Like, oh, I'm an inventor. I made this machine. You know, it's like, you know, in our especially in such a niche space, it's cool to meet people who invent stuff. Right. Makes me want to invent stuff, but then again, remember, I don't have the resources to follow through with it. But so that was cool.
You have that relationship. You got to just send them stuff and be like, "You ever thought of this?" And they're like,
"Oh, I should have told them about my light up jump rope idea, where if you hit a double under, it is green. If it's a single under, it's red. If it's triple under, it's purple or gold. You know, because something." So that was cool. And we got a lot of nice pictures of that too. And it was a lot of fun to see members participate in stuff like that normally wouldn't participate at all. Like, it was cool to see Art there, you know, working on his double unders, you know. And I know that, you know, the barbecue is a nice lead in to right after it, but it was cool to see him, like, because that's what I wanted too. I'm like, all this work, like, I really want to see Albany CrossFit faces participating and having fun. It's great to see all the strangers coming in, but like, I didn't do it really for them. I all the work in and coordinating and everything was like, I want you guys to enjoy this, you know, and see how awesome it is and be exposed to new and unique things. So I'm glad so many members of the gym were around all weekend to do stuff. And then we were on the Friday. So you did some workouts, right? Did you do a Friday workout?
Yeah, Friday I was at the 5:30 with the Wadify team. Yeah, so that was the beginning of my long weekend. Yep, waking up early for that one.
Was it weird? Just like, have you ever been in that building at 5:30 a.m. or earlier?
Yes. 5:30? Maybe not. Maybe did we have a 5:30 class years ago?
Long time ago, yeah. Pre-COVID.
I think there was one night I pulled an all-nighter in college writing an essay, and I was up, so I just went directly to the gym. I can't remember if it was whatever the first class of the day was.
Got it.
But it definitely felt different. This time around, I was actually pleasantly surprised because there was lifting in it, and usually I can't lift that early in the morning. But it felt all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you that was like what like I'm there's many highlights, but like it's always a nice compliment as a coach when someone compliments your athlete's technique and the way they move and stuff. And John and maybe even Carla too from Modify, they're like they were gushing over your snatch technique, and I thought that was pretty cool. I can't remember what they said specifically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also, yeah, part of my overconfidence thing. Part of the reason why I was like, we should also, as members, all be here is because I'm like, yeah, this is also our opportunity to show off. Like, I always make that joke of like people coming into our house. But yeah, I'm like, if you're going to be in our gym, I want to show you like what our gym is. And if that means like, all right, I'm up at 5:30, but I'm going to try to do everything as best as I can because it's the representation of the gym, I would say.
Yeah, I mean you have to have pride for your gym. You know, wear the shirt, wear the colors. You know, participate, talk to people. Oh, I'm a member of this gym, whatnot. Oh, I've only been a member. You know, and you'd be surprised. So many guests and whatnot, like they like that. They're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, that's Miguel. He's a member of the gym, and then they might ask you a question about town or something, and then now you made a new connection, and
right.
it's that's how you participate in this community. You know, so you got to be out there. So that was one of my highlights was just you getting that compliment, and then along the same lines at the West Kits seminar on Saturday, Jennifer got a lot of compliments on her lifting. There was power snatches from the high hang, and he was like he's no feedback. He's like that's the way it should be. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
you know, every time. And then it was another drill where he watched and he said, "Oh, that's really good." Then he like walked away a little bit and like was like thinking, and then came back to Jennifer and is like, How long you been lifting?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the best. That's a great comment, a great question, because like what what a flattering thing to ask someone, right? Like
Yeah.
how long you've been, and like the fact that he walked away and he's like, I gotta find out right now,
Yeah.
and was like how long you've been lifting, because like, and he's probably expecting like, oh, like 8 years, 10 years, and Jennifer's only been lifting since 2021, you know, well, right at the ends 2022. So it's like what a great compliment for her, but also me on the back end witnessing it. I'm like, yeah, that's how we do here, you know. So and Jennifer has a technique that has oohed and awed a lot of people, you know, like when that jerk goes up and other things are just right. So I thought that was pretty cool. An Olympian. He had to double back and find out. I'm like, how cool is
Yeah.
that? So that was one of my highlights. It's when your athletes are complimented, it's also loops back to you a little bit. So that was
Yeah.
fun. And any highlight highlight from Friday for you? Anything fun happened in that class, or just things that you watched and saw?
I think just hanging out that morning because after I didn't have work until 8:30, so I kind of watched the next class happen, and then the beginning of that 7:30 class as well. But just hanging out while things were starting up, and yeah, talking to random people in the hallway who were dropping in. Um, Obviously had my Albany CrossFit stuff on like during the weekend, so people knew. Um, but yeah, that part was really fun for Friday. Saturday I wasn't. That was wedding day, so I wasn't in that at all. But um, Sunday, I would say the adaptive training that was really cool because it was just all new stuff for me.
Yeah,
So yeah,
stuff and maybe you'd seen some of it online, but in person, you know, being exposed to it is awesome.
yeah,
You know, and that's one of my highlights too. that we were able to get them to come in and to give them exposure and to do those classes. I know they filmed a lot of great content. And also our gym is now outfitted with more adaptive equipment.
Yeah.
And I felt confident, with any athlete coming to class that we could help them. But it makes you feel even more confident where you're like, oh, I got this tool over here. Like, hey, we're biking, no problem. Switch that monitor around. And so whether you're in a wheelchair, maybe you're elderly or just not physically able to get up onto the seat, or if you're short stature, like if you're a short stature athlete and you do get up on the seat, well, now the handles and pedals are kind of not built, for you. So it's cool to have these tools, and they were generous enough also to send us a ski erg. So now we have 2 of them that we're going to keep downstairs, and we can implement them in warm-ups or have just a non-leg dominant, or pressing leg dominant cardio option that people can use. I'm looking forward to trying to bake them into my warm-ups, just to expose people to different things.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to find a nice permanent homes for them. I couldn't get it in that back corner where you were saying.
I was looking around today as well to see what the best option would be, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I think we definitely got good spaces for it, especially if I want to start to get for warm-ups.
Yeah. I almost think a good spot for them would be on either side of the TVs. That way, like they're flat and like they're not moved often, and you could move them out and right back again. And that space isn't really used because they shouldn't be, because the TVs are right there.
Yeah.
And then the rowers can kind of filter out to the sides. And we also have kind of like we had them during the games where we had them in between the open slots.
Mm-hmm.
Rowers could be kept in those spots too.
Yeah.
Again, it's like we like to have things a certain way and neat, and you just have to have everybody on the habit of putting it back there, and then it works. But also, it's like we could, like, moving things is so easy, like especially seeing those big class. Like, all right, well, let's just move the rower. It's nothing is ever in your way. We can move it. So yeah, we're gonna keep playing around with that, find the best spots for it. So yeah, that was awesome, the adaptive class, and I would like to get them out for the full cert, sometime in the winter, and then we'll go even deeper into it. It was cool to see Mike Egan and Tom Miazga work out in the classes. They participated on Saturday and Sunday, and just seeing what they do. Mike does this move. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like a dip of getting out of his chair, dipping down, and getting back in the chair. Mm-hmm. And it's like, boy, like the upper body strength is so impressive, And I was joking around with Mike. I'm like, there's actually someone here that's more jacked than you now, his veins are bigger. So it was just cool to see them in action, because again, that's something that we're not normally exposed to. Yeah. But I would like us to be more. I would like to start to have us to be a place and a resource in the community where people with disabilities can come and work out, either in class or we have a dedicated class. So all these things are in the works for sure.
Yeah.
You did Sunday workouts, right? I think you did 3 Sunday workouts.
Yeah. So I did Michelle Latondra's class at 8. I did the class with Mike at 10, and then the West Kits seminar at 11.
Mm-hmm. So just a nice full day of exercise for after a wedding the night before. So imagine how difficult that is, But we're used to doing difficult things. What was your experience in Michelle's class? I know you were very excited to take that one. You follow her and you follow HWPO, I think, right? So what was what'd you think? And where you're like, oh, I like that cue or this thing, and I do know that these classes are different because they're 50 people, know? So we have to have a grain of salt there. Like all these coaches would coach vastly different if it was 20 people versus another 30 bodies.
Yeah, I would say with her, again, I didn't get to take like too many classes, but with her class, having that many athletes and just always being on top of it, like I think with that class, it was every instruction was very clear, and I really appreciated that. I think part of it is like as coaches at Albany CrossFit were very much like that, but also I've always been like that as an athlete. Like, just be very clear with what you're telling me because I'll do it. But if I hear that there are like gaps in what you're saying, I will then question those gaps of like, okay, but yeah, where do you want this? Do we start right now? Do you want us to wait? Are we waiting on everyone? When do you want this done by? What is this? Like, her instructions were very clear and she was on top of everything, which I really appreciated. And then, yeah, new implement as well, which is odd to think. I mean, in the adaptive class, I did have the split ropes, which were new, but those what were they called?
Burpees.
Yeah, double tap burpees were something new that I did enjoy, and it changed the way that you kind of have to do burpees as well. You kind of have to force yourself to do them very correctly, or else you will feel them. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. And it's cool to see, one again, like, oh, like we try to do that and you're doing that, and it validates what you're doing, but also learn like those like little extra things. It's cool that she thought outside the box for at least one of the movements. I'm like, all right, I already know it's gonna be crazy. And shout out to Michelle too. We originally had 30 people, and then Wadify asked, hey, do you want to bump it up a little bit? And she's like, all right, let me see if I can get an assistant. And then she's like, all right, I got an assistant. Let's bump it up to 50, And I'm not sure what his role was or what he was doing because I wasn't watching the class. Did you feel his presence? Like,
Yeah. Kind of in the way, I'm sure that he like coaches his own class and everything, but he wasn't like stepping on toes or anything. It was just like a reiteration of what she's already saying, like a double check, or like someone else to also, while she's on that side of the room, someone else is over here. But yeah, definitely helpful as well. Just with that many implements in the room as well, and that many like teams of 3. So yeah.
It was high energy when I was down there for the end to see everyone kind of finish the workout. I like the adjustments she made. Originally, it was going to be an AMRAP, and then she's like, let's just make it for time with a time cap. I did like how multiple coaches changed the workout almost mid-workout. Like, hey, guys, we got to do 3 rounds instead of 5 because we ran out of time. Sorry. And when that happened in the adaptive class, I was like, yes, because I was after 3 rounds of that tough workout, I was ready to be done. And also, but it's like that almost seems like something wrong to do, like when your class is running over. But like, I can honestly say I've never done that. I've never been like, everybody, we're stopping in 1 minute, no matter what, like it was supposed to be a 20-minute AMRAP and you're getting 17 today. That's on me. I can honestly say I've never done that. I've only ever gone the other route. Like, well, crap, we're going to go over 3 minutes and then we got to clean up and then start the next class. But again, like seeing so many like people do it because it needed to be done, it kind of like, it's like, all right, yeah, I feel more open to doing it now. That makes sense. And also being an athlete in class where that situation happened, I was completely okay with it. I think, you're only going to ever once in a while get a couple crazies who aren't okay with it, and not to call this person crazy, but during one of the Saturday classes, I think the meme for time class, the class had ended, the time was over, everyone finished. There was one guy who was going to take another like 10 minutes to finish, and he just wanted to finish. He's one of those guys like, I got to finish it, whatnot. And the coaches and other athletes just ignored him. It's like that part was done. We're in socializing mode now and getting ready for the next class. And he's over there doing his pistols. And I was surprised that like, whoa, like the community didn't converge on him to be like, let's finish. It's like it's almost like what he was doing was the abnormal thing. And it's like, yeah, it is. It's like he told you we were done, but you got to get these last deadlifts and pistols in. Do you like the? It was interesting to see that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that there is time and place. I mean, and you're going to these classes because they are coached. There's not much beyond that, right? Where a coach is like, yeah, we're done at this point, then you're done. Like, you might have that idea of like, oh, but if I keep on going, everyone's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, good on you. But it's like, no, that's not the social contract here. Where we're all doing this because other things are going on. We have to be courteous of time and all of this. So yeah, I mean, if you continue to do it, you're doing it as a solo entity.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was one of those workouts where they were going through waterfall style. So I don't know if maybe his lane got jammed up and he just lost that time. He was clearly big and jacked, probably the most jacked guy in the entire building at that point. But also it's like, I also don't know if like maybe he should have scaled. Maybe he normally doesn't scale when people want him to, and this is how it normally is. The whole class is done, and he's there trugging along with his deadlifts and stuff like that. So I don't know the specific situation, so I won't say that he's the bad guy. I'll just say that he's an avatar of what happens, I think, in a lot of places, and what has happened in the past with us, where it's like, all right, you're on round 3 of 5, but you didn't want to scale, or you didn't scale, or it was my fault, I didn't scale you. And you're going to keep going, and everyone else is going to wait 10 minutes for you to be done. And, so that's not good either, so but it's cool. Like with so many classes and guest coaches, we got a little bit of everything going on, all those different situations and things to learn from too. Like, for my class, I realized that, all right, I'm going to give a bathroom break, but there's no way for me to know that you're all back here. So I just had to be like, look, everybody, remember that talk? I'm like, everybody, it's starting whether you're in the room or not. But I let everyone know, you all have to understand, there's no way for me to know that you're here or not. There's 40 of you. So I'm saying 3, 2, 1, go when that clock reaches what I say it's gonna, and you hop in when you hop in. One of the stations is a rest station. Hopefully your 2 teammates would have just started and you're the rest station guy. So yeah, and then it just has me, so coming off of that and seeing other coaches do the same, it's like, you know what, like, not waiting anymore. And I know it's hard to not wait when there's 3 people in class, because now you feel like a jerk. Like there's only 3 of us, but it's like, but then again, if I let you get away with it now, Miguel, when there are 20 people in class, you'll still want to get away with it, It just has to be the way things are. And everybody gets comfortable in your own home, and you start to like feed off of one another, and there starts to be, they take from you and you take from them, and they may take more time from you, more leeway from you. He'll let me finish. And since you're the only one in class, why wouldn't I let you finish? Like it's tough, but there's got to be a balance to it, right?
Yep.
So let's see. ATA classes. One cool spot for me was running into J.R. Howell 11 years or so later, after I had already met him previously, and we probably shared a bar at the John North seminar back in January 2014. It was the Attitude Nation Level 2 camp, so we both got our Level 2 that day. That was my first time driving out of New York State so far away. On a road trip, never done that before. And I can't believe he was there. Like, I walked in Friday morning, I think, and his eyes lit. He's like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, me? Yeah, we've been emailing back and forth. And he's like, no, it's you from the seminar and whatnot. And I'm like, what seminar? And he's like, the John North one. And then I had to go back home and find that photo. Yeah. So it was all hours of the night. And I'm like, I gotta find this photo. And then I'm like, I found the photo. I'm like, where is he? And it's one of those things, I'm like, I couldn't find him because I'm used to what he looks like now.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, like he had shaggy hair and a big beard and everything. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. What a small world. But that's another cool thing about our community. And then it's just cool to see how like we were both at that point and like where we both decided to go. You know, like he obviously went into affiliate ownership, CrossFit Crash, and also pursuing training games athletes, you know, and running competitions. And I went this other way of just like in affiliate classes and weightlifting and all these other things. So it was just really cool. You know, what a surreal thing that like had the games not been in Albany, never going to know that.
Right.
In a million years, probably. You know, I don't know when our paths would ever cross. I don't know when our paths would cross in a way that would prompt either one of us to realize this is a thing, you know. So it's just kind of cool. That's like one of those little magic things of it had to come to Albany for this to happen, you know.
Yeah.
So I wonder if one day you'll be in a similar situation of like 10 years from now, someone's be like, hey, you know, we sat next to each other, or we were partners during the AMRAP at the level 1 way back on the CrossFit.
And I mean, I think I said this even before the like full week started of, it's so interesting to have it in our home because now we have so many people coming in from different areas. So when we go off and we branch off to other gyms and for like vacation or whatever, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm in Tennessee. There was somebody from Tennessee who came to our gym. Now I remember that gym name, or as I'm looking up gyms, I see them in a photo of their home gym and I go, oh yeah, I know that person from when they were there at the games. And you have these like home bases where you're like, oh, you coach at this gym in Italy? Cool. If I'm in Italy, that's something that I'll think about. And yeah, I think that's the whole cool thing of the weekend and having it hosted in Albany is that now all these people from different places who came in, they now have different points that we could all branch out to as well.
Yep. And they all know that Albany CrossFit's their home base now. You know, when they fly in, we're right there.
Yep.
And it's kind of like if you're a member of Planet Fitness, I think you can go to all the other Planet Fitnesses, but it's like that's like membership based. Like ours is more special because it's community based. It's relationships based. Like we've talked before, we've met before, we've worked out before, and I'm coming to your gym, and they're all like, "Oh, Miguel, I remember that Michelle Latondre class, double tap burpees and whatnot. Hey, look, I programmed the workout today for us," and you're like, "No," you know?
Yeah.
So it's just such a cool thing. Yeah. So CrossFit class is awesome. Everyone in our was very respectful in the gym. You know, we had one bar that broke. But we've had issues with that same thing happening where the sleeve comes off. So it's not anything that they did. We had one gentleman who mopped half the gym after he worked out. And he's from Australia. And he's like, yeah, that's just what you do. You know, like if you're sweaty in the gym, if you make something dirty, you clean it. And I'm like a tear down the eye. I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. Because like there's 300 plus other people that didn't do that. Not that they had to, but it's just really cool that you did, you know, and it just kind of shows his character too, because he was this CrossFit athlete, weightlifter who was lifting big. He was there every day, like almost every day, like lifting heavy snatches, clean jerks. But he was just the most respectful person you could find in the crowd. Not that anyone else was, but it's like, he was like openly about it. Like, I love this gym. I'm going to take care of this gym. Thank you for letting me come in at all hours of the day and do this. So what a cool guy. Like, what a great thing, you know? And like, it just, you know, if you're a guest in someone's house, treat it like you'd want yours to be treated.
Yep.
Weightlifting seminar was cool. I was only able to go for the snatch day, but I do have notes for that. I'm going to type up and send to everybody. How was the clean jerk day? Other responsibilities took me away from that one.
Yeah, it was fun. It was interesting. Definitely some stuff that I could take away from it. Things that I was already aware of, but it's a little bit different when it's another like anecdotal thing, right? Where we are just learning kind of Wes's way. But it's interesting where somebody kind of knows exactly how you lift and they go, okay, you're doing this because of this. So what I did in that situation is I did this. So it's kind of interesting to see someone see the way that you lift and go, oh, I know something similar that might help you. So that was cool with like kind of like stacking, and he went into a lot of like mobility stuff that, you know, Chris is doing some protocols on, but other things with like, oh, your back is really strong, which means you're probably doing this, and you're, you know, so I found that very helpful. It was interesting to split jerk again.
It looked
And
good.
It didn't feel bad. Like I said before, like when I demo them in class, I'm like, oh, I feel like that was a good one. It was just the bar, but I feel like that was good. So yeah, having him kind of cue me on that stuff, especially since I don't do it as often, I felt it to be really helpful, and got up to a decent number as well.
Yeah, I think what you have 100 on there or more.
Yeah, so
105.
225 is the last one that I hit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that I mean, it looked good. You know, I know we're gonna stick to the power jerk, but like whenever you go to a seminar, it's like you're not trying to redo all the
Right.
work that you've done again. That would be insane. What you're doing is it's kind of like how John North talks. He's like I'm a junkyard car. Like take a rear view mirror from me and put it on your car. But then you made us not need anything else. You know,
Yeah.
you're just taking little nuggets and growing. For another analogy of his, your melting pot. Like you have this pot and you're just putting in all these things and all the things that work. And what it does is it over time produces Miguel's technique, you know. And then when you're teaching like a seminar one day, this is Miguel's seminar, you're going to teach the things that work for you, but also that you've learned from all these other inputs. Like you might teach, you know, like pausing and really putting your head through the way John teaches it, but then you might teach the stance the way Klokov teaches it, who, you know, he's like super narrow, like heels together, and then you pop out. Yeah, and you're also going to hear all the different philosophies, and especially as a coach, you kind of need to try all of them to see what works with the majority of people, and then discard the things that don't, or just keep it in your back pocket for that unicorn that walks in where it's actually going to work.
Yeah.
You know, like the foot stance is a perfect example. Klokov was like, no feet forward. That's why you're jumping forward. You're getting on your toes like that. So he's like out, you know, and then heels together. And if you watch the different nationalities at the Worlds and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, they all kind of stand like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like if you're watching the Korean team with their feet super narrow, and then the American team is wide, and then the Russian team is, you know, under the hips, it's none of it's right or wrong, you know.
Right.
Like kind of like Chris mentioned the other day in class, it's like I didn't realize I was doing it wrong, and it's like this is a whole deeper conversation. It's like but like no, you're not. Like go to the next step. And he's in a precarious situation where if he did go to another seminar, it would totally just warp his whole mind, and he'd be like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like that Russian man said that I'm doing that, I need to be here, and he said I need to be here. And it's like for me, I tried all the foot stances, and I went through periods of using all of them, and eventually I found the one that is the way that works best for James McDermott. But it is a lot of trial and error. You're still going through all the trial and error. Where are we putting our hands today? You know, it changes day to day. So, but it's good to take seminars and to get all that different stuff in. It's way better than trying to read articles or watching videos on Instagram or YouTube or whatnot. Like, because then you can ask a question like, well, why do you do it this way? Well, why do it this way? But he didn't have time to talk about that in a 30-second clip. You know. So it was cool. It was fun. He's a really nice guy. Mary's really nice too. I got to meet Mary at the coaches conference. So both very, very down to earth, nice people, and it was great to have him. And I would like to host more seminars. You know, it just kind of seems like seminars were a bigger thing back in the day than they are now. But I don't know. Maybe they're making a comeback. I don't know. Let's see here. What else? You didn't go to the CrossFit Games, did you?
No, I wasn't able to get to the arena.
I went Friday midday, and then very end of the day after we closed out the seminar, I went on Sunday. So it was cool to kind of get that checked off the list, because I know for me personally, I would never ever travel to go. And like, I would want to go, but I'm like, I'm not a fan like that where I'm gonna take vacation time and spend all the travel money and stuff and just go sit and watch it.
Yeah.
I would much rather prefer to be put to work. Like, let's keep you busy. Like, oh, I'm going to the games and I'm putting up signs. Like give me something to do, because just sitting there in that chair watching people all day, I would start, like, I was getting antsy already,
Yeah.
So it's not something that I would like invest it for, but I'm super grateful that they came. They gave me a choice, like no choice, but like, yeah, you should go. So it was cool to see. I think that's my first time seeing Tia Toomey. So it was cool to see the GOAT, especially like in action. She did lose the first time I saw her, and that was her first loss of the weekend. So I'm sorry if I was if my presence was bad luck. It's up. You ever see that movie Celtic Pride?
Yes. Yeah.
With Damon Wayans and Dan Aykroyd, and they're like super fans, and he's on the opposing team, and they kidnap him, and all their rituals in the stand. When she lost that event, and I was there, and I wasn't there for the other two, I'm like, I'd totally be getting kicked out right now. Like, that's when they would stand up and they're like, wait a minute, it's him. You got to go. And I'm like, I paid ticket. No, you got to go. And the police arrest me. Like that. What a great movie. I want to see that movie again. It's so funny. But that's how I felt, and that's what it reminded me of. So it was cool to go and see. Did you have any? Did you watch any of the events at all?
Yeah, I definitely was watching. Either when I was home or I did pull up. We had some downtime in between some of the wedding stuff, and I pulled up the stream. But yeah, no, it was great. It was very simple as well, which I think, I don't know. I haven't looked into how people reacted to it, but I don't know. I think it was a good one because it was just simple.
Yeah.
Like nothing too crazy. You don't need crazy new implements or this or that. Just CrossFit.
Yeah. I heard that Dave Castro's goal, which I did get. I've seen him before. I saw him at the coaching conference. So at first when I saw him, I'm like, oh, cool, a Dave Castro sighting. And then I remembered, I've seen him during regionals way back. That just seems like another life, though, 2018, 2017. So his thing was to keep it classic CrossFit. And I've heard people say this on Get With The Programming. They did like a analysis of each event. And I think it was Chase Ingram said that the cool thing about these workouts is you can do them all in your affiliate. Right. And I was like, that's super cool. And we had so many people popping into the gym to do the sprinting Isabel workout. Mm-hmm. Everyone wanted to do that workout. So I had to like give people the roller to roll out 200 feet and whatnot to get to the bar. And a lot of people wanted to do that workout. And it was cool to watch it. And that was, I think that was the one where Jason Hopper could have, or like struggled on that one. Mm-hmm. He could have lost the games or something. So I was into it. I thought the workouts were cool. I didn't look deep enough to be like, I don't like any of these workouts. I just like the fact that like we could run it tomorrow. We do running Isabel tomorrow in class. Yeah. It'd be a cool experience. So I think they should do more stuff like that. I think 3 days is fine. I can't imagine if it was 5 days and we had started everything over a couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, just for me alone, like I don't know, my body could have done it. This experience found my limit on how many days in a row can James go with 90 minutes to 2 hours of sleep in between long shift days. It's 5. Like it's like, driving to the arena on that last day was like the very first time I've ever like understood, like, that don't operate heavy machinery type of thing. If you feel a certain way. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like this is I'm gonna be all right, but I can understand it. Like if I had to drive further, like not 15 minutes away to the arena, I think I would have had to stay home. Like it was a short enough trip, and then I would have someone driving back with me, and I had a Fit A2. But like anything, like if I had to drive an hour, it wouldn't have been good. I would have had to stay home. So I understand. I understand the do not operate machinery if you've been doing things a little more clear. But yeah, I can't imagine the 4 to 5 day games. That's a lot of work, a lot of extra work for the local affiliates.
And I feel like honestly, when you have that many days, there are days that people and events for sure that people just check out of.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, well, it's still going, and I still have a lot left after. So does this early middle section even matter? So yeah, I think 3 days is perfect.
Yeah. So you're saying less events, less days made the athletes maybe push more? Like everything's more valuable?
I wouldn't even say that. I would say from a viewership standpoint. Because when it starts on Thursday, it's usually like a run, swim, something that's like really long that you can't even really track people on. So you're like, I'll turn it on just to see the start. And then, all right, I'll check out for a little bit, come back. All right, it's early Saturday. They still might do a secret event at the end of the day, and then they got all of Sunday. So do I need to watch that early Saturday morning event? But when it's just 3 days, you're like, oh, let me watch what's on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, especially when it's spread out so long. And then like, all right, there's a bunch of teams events from noon to 3. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to get into teams. I wonder if it'd be cooler if it was even smaller teams, kind of like at the Shatter Slam teams 2. I think would be cool. Just it's like one step removed from individual. It's like there's just 2 bodies instead of 1. I don't know if they've ever done that before. I don't think so. I think there used to be 6 people on a team, which that's a lot of people on a team. So yeah, great week. Can't complain. If they announce tomorrow, hey, we're going to such and such, we're not going back to Albany, I'm at peace with it already. You know, just do you wish that they come back to Albany? Are you one of those that are hoping they come back?
I think there would be positives to it, but I would be completely fine with them going somewhere else. I think with the excitement of it being here, maybe like some local people, I wouldn't say we're caught off guard, but like now you're asking the questions of like, oh, CrossFit was around. Interesting. And then if you know like, oh, in the next year it'll be back, maybe that'll influence you into like being more involved with CrossFit. But other than that, I mean, it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
I had a good time. It was a nice, like it was crazy. I learned a lot about my own limits and capacity with just like the work that needed to be done. It's cool to kind of have done that and be like, check that off. But would I want to repeat and have to do that year after year? I don't know if my body can sustain that. And also, like, if you remember back in like December, I was thinking about this over the weekend. Remember when I said like I'm looking forward to like a quiet 2025? Like I'm not going to travel for events. We'll do a couple weightlifting meets. States is the big focus. And then they announced that, and I was like, okay, because I knew right when they announced it what was going to need to be done. What were we going to do? And right away we started having meetings and brainstorming and planning. So it's like I knew, and I also knew like, oh, all these toys on the table, bring them here. I knew I was gonna want to try to do something like that too. And it worked out. And shout out to Wadify for all their help. What a cool bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Like talk about like learning the people behind a product. Everybody, so awesome, so down to earth. The Wadify crew, if you would have told everybody or like these are just members of Albany CrossFit, would you be surprised? Like they fit in so
Yeah.
easily.
And I mean, they were hanging out just all day. So yeah.
They were working. Like they have a lot of photos that are going to go out in a welcome email that are for free. So all the photos they took are going to be in a photo album, so you can find photos of yourself in their classes. They took videos. They're making cool Instagram reel videos for guest coaches, and they're still collabing with us on all those. So we're having like cool post games content. I can't say enough about them. Like
Yeah.
they really went above and beyond with helping us with the TVs, the food, supplying all of that, helping with the scheduling. Like they were the ones that had the connections for those guest coaches. So it's not like James McDermott knows Andrew Hiller. It's just that they asked if he wanted to be involved, and then we took it as a team from there. So shout out to them. I'm beyond happy as a customer with Wodify.
Yeah.
And it's just that would be the thing. Like if the games was coming back to Albany, I would want to work with any of your teams. Like let's get our Wodify peeps back on, because how cool is it to like if the software we're trying to use is having an issue, hey Carla, can you come here for a second? And normally that would have to be an email, and you schedule a Zoom call, and we're going to meet on Tuesday at 10. And now it's like, oh, she's right there and she's coming over. That made it so easy, because with that volume of people coming in, there were little things left and right. It's like, how did you figure out how to sign up for this class? I don't even know. And they're like, oh, they did this, So very, very cool. Miguel, any other big takeaway from the weekend or highlight or anything like that for you?
No, overall it was a great time. I'm glad we were able to get everything together. Hope all the members had a good time, and I guess I'll be looking out for that email with the photos and stuff. I want to see all the stuff I haven't seen yet. So
it's going to go out to the drop-ins, but I'll also have it, so I'll share it with everybody. My only last thing on like a highlight for myself is that throughout the last 2 weeks prior, I started to feel the pull, and it's a pull of when you're so deep in a massive project like this. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna have time to work out today, or I'm not gonna get my steps today, or I'm just gonna swing by McDonald's. That way I can eat these nuggets while I'm responding to all these emails. And I would clear out my emails, Miguel, and then go coach class, and then pop open my phone, 33 more emails. Like it was insane. And they're not like ones that you can ignore, like, because we're kind of in a catch 'em all situation. I need to respond to you quickly and fix your problem so you can pay and drop in. Like this is still a business, like we're in full business mode. So or make sure you can get into that class so you're not disappointed. I don't want you to come to Albany, you paid the drop in, you're having a technical error with the software, you get locked out of Andrew Hiller's class, now you're bummed. Like I want everyone. So this is a situation where I started to feel the pull of needing to get all the work done and wanting to make sure everyone else is taken care of, which means I'm not going to take care of myself. It's super easy to happen, and it's historically happened a lot. So I was able to keep my steps in, boom, every single day throughout the whole thing. My core 365, the whole thing. And then during the games, like whether it was 4 a.m. in the morning and I'm holding the prone raise, which thank God that was one of them, just 40-second prone raises and 20 seconds of rest. I was like, when I woke up and saw that's just isometric holds, I was like, yes, all right, I can lay down on the floor and do that. But then other days, getting home 11 o'clock, and like these Russian twists aren't going to do themselves. So it's like you just got to come home, take off the dirty clothes, pop on some music, and just start. Like just literally just go down to the floor and just start. And I'm really happy that I was able to keep that going. And then also watch out for the couple days after. There's also a risk there of like you're just so tired and comatose and just forgetting like did I work out today or what? Like just like so like now we're in the clear, and like that was I knew this would be a big hurdle, and I remember I said I didn't want to let that compromise or slide. So I'm really happy that I was able to kind of hold the line on the things that are important to me too. Whether it means like I can only get this little sliver of time at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, I'm gonna take it, and it's okay to take it. I know there's like me, there's a lot of people that have trouble taking it, just that little extra bit. Because you might be like, well, if I don't do this, I get in the shower now, then I go to the gym. Now I'm there that much earlier to do all those other things for those other people. It's like, no, this is a 4-minute workout. That's all I'm asking for. Let's do it. So I'm really happy about that. That normally doesn't happen. So cool. We'll save the road states for next time. We I guess we kind of came off of a second deload week. Like we had our deload week during the games, and this last week was back to training, but also like not everyone's there and everyone's still recovering and whatnot. But we'll be back to, I think, full team and another full week of training, and we'll have more to talk about with that on what's going on. So cool. Well, Miguel, where can people follow you?
Couldn't be Miguel on Instagram.
Miguel. Follow me, James and McDermott. Follow the gym, Albany CrossFit, Albany CrossFit Barbell Club. The Barbell Strikes Back if you want. There's nothing there. And we'll talk again soon. Later, Miguel.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. And shout out and good luck to Josh next week for his Crystal Lake triathlon. Let me try that on.
Yep.
So let's check for that. We'll talk all about that soon. All right. And stream.